All right. What up, what up, what up, what up, what up? Weather delay, LSU trailing 1-0 there in the Baton Rouge Regional, the winner's bracket game here. We'll talk about it. So I'm not at the box, obviously. I'm here at my home in Southeast BR. And I, in the second inning, tweeted, didn't mean to alarm y'all, but while it was sunny and beautiful at the box, it was absolutely piss and rain here. And lightning, wind, rain, all that stuff. And so it's really frustrating because you look at the picture there at the box and you see it's sunshiny and beautiful, but you can see in the distance the clouds. So they're obviously going to take their precautions. We all know the rules. You know, when there's a lightning strike detected within a certain radius of the field, they they have a 30-minute weather delay, contingent upon there not being another lightning strike. So as of 3:12, I believe, was when they cleared the field. Waiting for an exact time, but I think it was 3:12 when they had the lightning strike, which means minimum 3:42 would be the resumption. That would be at the earliest, provided there's not another lightning strike. But with that whole cell moving toward the box, my assumption is this is probably going to be a lengthy weather delay. I hope not, but it certainly could be the case here. I'm judging by what just passed through my house. If it's heading that way and the rain hasn't even gotten there yet, you're going to have to wait for the system to pass over the box. So I know everyone's going to ask, does this mean Ty Floyd's day is done? Yeah, it does. So the only option that you really have, and I've seen this once before, and I'll tell you the example where I saw it. And it was 2012. It was the Super Regional against Stony Brook. If you remember what happened, LSU played on Friday. They had a dramatic rally and a comeback. That game ended up going into extra innings. Weather delayed it, and they resumed it. Coincidentally, Oregon State was in that regional, 2012. LSU ended up beating Oregon State in the regional championship. Wow, it's a weird coincidence. But anyway, and so then they, nope, forgive me, this was the Supers. It wasn't Oregon State wasn't that regional, but this was the Supers when it happened against Stony Brook. They finished game one against Stony Brook on Saturday morning because it went to 12 innings. So what they did was Gosman was set to start game two. And so they Gosman came and finished game one, and then they just kept him hot in the bullpen during the interim between games. They would just sit him down, get him up, keep him hot, and then he started game two that LSU lost. So in theory, if you want to keep Ty Floyd hot during this delay, you can. The problem is that Ty Floyd has already thrown. Let's see. I'm pulling up the box score. My apologies, y'all. Ty Floyd has already thrown. That's not the game I want. Why are you showing me the box score of the Tulane-Sam Houston State game? That's not what I want at all. Oh my God. Anyway, the NCAA's thing is so stupid. Ty Floyd's over 70 pitches. I know that much. And we have seen Floyd, forgive me, we have seen Floyd start rocky. The game two against Arkansas earlier this year, He had a 32 pitch first inning where he allowed a 2-run homer. He did steady himself, came back, went up going 6 1/3, and threw 108 pitches. So we could see that unfold, but more than likely, you're not going to bring Ty. If this is some type of extended delay here, you're not going to see Ty Floyd come back. So, sorry, y'all. I'm trying to pull up this freaking lot. Here it is. The NCAA's live stat graphic is just stupid. So here you go. Floyd is at 71 total pitches through 3 innings. 1 run on 5 hits. He struck out 5 and he's walked 2. It's just not been economical. They've made him work a lot, which is kind of what we talked about with Ty Floyd against this team. They're a pesky offensive team. They'll work a count, they'll work a walk, they'll get on base, they'll steal a base, they'll bunt, but they can also hit a homer. So you saw the homer as well. So Floyd, again, depending on how long this delay is and the fact that LSU is coming to the plate. So remember, not only do you have a delay right now for the weather, but then LSU has to hit before Floyd would even go back out there. So you're talking about what would likely be around an hour. Hard to imagine Floyd going back out there. So now you have to formulate a plan of what's next. And the what's next is probably Thatcher Hurd. I know nobody wants to hear that because you're starting to think about beyond today and making sure you have pitching for a potential game tonight or 2 games tomorrow, if need be, but you can't think in those terms. It's a 1-0 game and you have to put yourself in position to win this game. So you have to go with who is your best guy available. And that's either going to be Thatcher Hurd or very likely Javen Coleman, one of those two. And I think you have to go with Hurd. They got Hurd hot in game 1 after Skeens, didn't need him on Friday, but he was ready to roll. And so that would be my assumption, is that if Floyd is done, if you do shut Floyd down here at 71 pitches after 3 innings with a delay, that Hurd's your next guy up. So, all right, smash the like button. Thanks for being there. We'll wait this rain delay out together. We'll kind of wait and see if we get updates. By the way, if you're hanging out there in the chat and you see something that, like before I do, please do us a solid and just let us know if you see an update. I'll keep monitoring on Twitter, but again, I'm at my house. I'm not in the press box at the box, so let me know if y'all see something. Ray Moore, what's up? Jared Weems, Matt, is it me or does our hitters look uncomfortable in the lineup? I wish they'd swap back to the original. So, Jared, look, it's one of those things where I'll trust Jay to know what he's looking at in his lineup. Like, by the way, the personnel he's got, I'm totally fine with the personnel he's got in the game today. The thing that I would prefer to see is Dugas leading off, Morgan in the 2-hole, Cruz batting 3rd, and then White 4th, Travinsky 5th. That way you have protection all the way out through your murderer's row of the lineup. That's what I would prefer to see. I think that's when LSU's been the most productive. But Jay likes this, and having Pearson at the bottom of the order kind of allows you to turn your lineup over with a kind of like a second leadoff hitter. So with Pearson and Dugas down in the bottom 3rd. So Trey Day, what's going on? Okay, asked about Floyd. Donald A. Me says I'm nervous. You should be. You're likely down Ty Floyd now, and you got to figure out a way to get going. But honestly, the thing that LSU needs, and if you were here this morning on Morning Scone, I said it, and I'll say it. I said it yesterday. I'll say it again. This is a game against this team that is a very good offensive team that you are going to go have to score double-digit runs. I think to feel comfortable in this game, I think this is a 10-8 ball game. Maybe it ends up 8-6, but I think to really feel comfortable, you need to put up double-digit runs. The good thing for LSU, and I know the flip side of it is you're going to look and say, but they didn't hit with the guys on. You had the bases loaded each of the first 2 innings. Like, eventually you are going to break through in those scenarios. Like, there, if again, I know some of this is repetitive for those who were here this morning, but we talked about it today on Morning Scone, where we assumed A.J. Lattery was going to be the guy, 6'5" righty, but his long outing of the season is 4 1/3. So this isn't, he's gone 2 innings and he's at 57 pitches, so he hasn't been economical either. So Oregon State's about to have to dip into their bullpen as well. LSU is going to get going offensively. I mean, they've already loaded the bases twice. Lattery's walked 4 guys. He's hit a batter. He's only given up the 1 hit. But the Tommy White strikeout was big in the second. I mean, you had bases loaded, 1 out, Tommy White at the plate. All you got to do is elevate a baseball to the outfield. Just elevate the ball to the outfield and you get a run home. Best case scenario, you hit it over the fence and it's a grand slam. You put one in the gap, you clear the bases. But because you had Cruz at first, he would have scored from first and the ball in the gap. But what you had to do was get the ball in the air to the outfield to get a run home, and he didn't. And he swung at a ball at his eyes, and he was a little aggressive, and you haven't seen that very much from Tommy White this year. He's been awesome. But those opportunities are going to continue to come. Oregon State's pitching is thin as well, and those opportunities are going to continue to come for LSU. They'll break through offensively. You just got to hope that whoever is next up out of the bullpen for LSU, and again, my guess is it's going to be Hurd, that he's ready to roll. So again, my assumption here, if you're just joining, thank you for being here, by the way. Smash the like button if you would, and subscribe up to the channel if you're new. My assumption here is, considering you're looking at a delay that would keep Ty Floyd cold for probably an hour, that his day is done, and my assumption is your next guy up is going to be Thatcher Hurd. And you see if Thatcher Hurd can get you home and your offense can get going. If that's the case, awesome. Then you're probably sitting on Javen Coleman to start tomorrow. Now, if you lose today, you probably start Javen Coleman tonight, but you're still in a world of hurt. So, okay. Bo Jacks, bases loaded twice. Doesn't matter who pitches if we can't score. They'll break through and score, man. Caleb Lemoyne, what's up? Let's see. Bubba Tatum, good morning. It's not good morning. Forgive me. It's actually 3:30 in the afternoon. That's just have it. Jeb, whoever comes out of this tournament is screwed for the rest of the stupid weather. I know no one can control it, but crap. I don't know that I would say that. If you mean who comes out of the regional, and just to be clear, I know some people have asked, the NCAA waits until all the regionals are done to determine super regional schedule. So we don't know yet if the Baton Rouge super regional, provided LSU wins, would be a Friday, Saturday, Sunday, or a Saturday, Sunday, Monday. What I will tell you, and I don't mind disclosing this, is the whispers that I heard last week was that LSU was told it would be a Friday, Saturday, Sunday regional. So again, that was before the rain delays, and we'll see what happens. But a lot of that is determined based on TV, and they're going to want to put LSU on network at prime time. So anyway. So we don't know for sure what it would look like, and you got to win this regional in advance. I'm just answering the question for those that are wondering. So the NCAA waits until all the regionals are done to put together the super regional schedule. So we don't know if it would be Friday, Saturday, Sunday, or Saturday, Sunday, Monday. And before you say, well, because this is going to extend due to weather, of course they'll make it Saturday, Sunday, Monday. Not exactly. 2014, if you remember, LSU lost to Houston. Houston came back. They ended up beating LSU twice, on Sunday and then again on Monday. So Houston won that Baton Rouge Regional on a Monday. They were paired with Texas in the Super Regional, and the Super Regional started on Friday. So Houston had to come out of the losers bracket, beat LSU, win the elimination game, beat LSU twice on a Monday, and then played on Friday. So basically, said Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and played Texas on Friday. So there is precedent for the NCAA to say, I don't care if your regional goes to Monday, they'll make you play on Friday. So just file that away. Kendall Nugent, Donovan Peterson, Jeff G. Matt, is it possible Jay looked at the weather situation as part of the reason to pitch Skeens in game one? So Jeff, here's what I'll say. First of all, I don't love continuing to talk about the Skeens thing. It's done. Ty Floyd started today. LSU's in a dogfight right now with Oregon State. We got to focus on that. I don't mind answering the question though. And here's what I will say. If Jay Johnson had said after the game on Friday, he throws Skeens against Tulane, he goes to the post-game press conference and says, hey, look, the forecast looks terrible for tomorrow. And the last thing in the world we want to have happen is what happened in South Carolina, where we start Paul and then he has to shut it down. This was a way we knew we could get a full start out of our best pitcher, and we wanted to get him off to a good start in the regional. Okay. Everyone would have been perfectly agreeable with that. He didn't say that, though. That's not the reason that he started Paul Skeens on Friday. And let's hope, knock on wood, the Tigers rally here and we don't talk about this forever. Because what I'll say is, if LSU wins today, and then wins the regional tomorrow, no one's ever going to talk about the decision again. Like it's just going to be a footnote because because the stakes continue to build into the supers and then into Omaha, and no one's going to remember the regional. Like very few LSU fans talk about what happened in regional play. Like we remember super regionals, we certainly remember Omaha, but it's rare that you remember anything that happened in a regional, except for like 2014 when you lost to Houston, when they came out of the losers bracket and beat you twice. We remember that. We remember the bad stuff. So my point is, if LSU loses this game and loses this regional, we'll talk about Jay's decision to start Paul Skeens against Tulane forever. But what we all hope is LSU rallies, beats Oregon State, wins this regional, and we never talk about it again. Derek Matthews, we got to lead the country in leaving runners in scoring position. Well, Derek, to lead the country in leaving runners in scoring position, you have to get a lot of runners in scoring position. That's also why LSU leads the SEC in runs and hits and doubles and batting average and all the other things. You get a lot of guys on base, you're going to have more opportunity to leave guys on base. Lance Richard, I don't like Cruz batting leadoff. He looks uncomfortable. I think Cruz is a natural leadoff hitter, and I think he will be. He definitely could be a leadoff hitter at the next level. I don't like him batting leadoff in this offense, just because I think the benefit is batting him leadoff is he's certain to bat in the first inning, which he would batting third anyway. And then obviously you're more likely to get him additional at bats because when the lineup turns over, he'll be there. But what I will say is I like him. I like Trey Morgan in the 2-hole, and I like Cruz as a run producer. So I like having guys that get on base. Like Gavin Dugas is second on the team. Let me see if I keep giving that number. I want to make sure that number is still good. Gavin Dugas for a while was second on the team behind only Dylan Cruz in on-base percentage. So when you have Gavin Dugas in the 2-hole getting on base, or leading off getting on base, and then you have Trey Morgan in the 2-hole where he's seen a lot of fastballs, and then you go Cruz White, so you have protection for Cruz with White behind him, and now Travinsky playing the way he is. I like that lineup better. Again, I mean, Jay Johnson can do what he wants, but let's see. Cruz on base 567. Beloso 455, Dugas 454, White 450. So, I mean, they're all right there. Beloso, Dugas, and White are all clumped together within 4% or 5 percentage points for on-base percentage. So, even though Dugas is batting 288, his on-base percentage is 454. He's got a higher on-base percentage than Tommy White. So, like, yeah, you know, I like Gavin leading off. But again, moot point. The lineup's what it is. Anthony Court, tough to watch missed opportunities. Brooke Bordeaux, good afternoon. Good thing I have a book I'm sucked into. This baseball weekend is never going to end. It's happened before. By the way, y'all, if you would, smash the like button. 328 watching live. Appreciate that. Subscribe up to the channel if you're new. Shout out to Hudco with this weather. It's a really good time to remind you. I got Hudco pinned in the chat. Hail yesterday, lightning, wind, all that stuff. If you have roof damage, think you might have roof damage, we'd love to give you a free, no obligation roofing inspection. I mean, I'll never put up a paywall. I'll never charge y'all for anything ever. I'm happy to do content. I love to do it. The thing you can do is, hey man, if you need a roof, you need a roof replacement, repair, whatever, shout out Hudco. We're pinned right there in the chat. Andy said do the Hudco jingle. I don't want to scare everybody away, but you know what? Some levity may be a good thing. So maybe I'll give you the Hudco jingle here in a second. What the hell? Here you go. Here, I'll give you 30. What in the world is that? Oh, it's that. All right, I'll come back to it. Do you feel like the offense is simmering, about to boil? I mean, I do, Kyle. You've had 6 guys on in 2 innings. You're going to break through. Jeb, the bats have gone to sleep. Jeb, the bats haven't gone to sleep. You've had 6 guys on in 2 innings. You just got to come through. Which one of y'all are doing the rain dances? Brad J, if Johnson blows the regional, is he coaching for his job next season? I wouldn't say he's coaching for his job next season, Brad. But there will be a tremendous amount of pressure because of the expectations here. Cajun Merck, I showed up at like 6 in the morning that Sunday to get tickets for Game 3 against Stony Brook. Waited all day to see them lose. That was not fun. I was there too. And honestly, who was that? Cajun Merck. One of the most annoying things I've ever seen from LSU fans was letting Stony Brook do a victory lap. And I teed off on air the next day. I mean, you lost. You got beat. People are sportsmanship. Like, so when Alabama beats LSU in Tiger Stadium, you want that? You want to let the Crimson Tide go do a victory lap? Come on, man. It was one of the most annoying things I ever saw. One of the most embarrassing things I ever saw in my life. Letting a team that just came in and beat you take a victory lap in your stadium. Ugh. Andy boy, what's up? Clint, what's going on? Ola Tiger, what's up? Michael Blanco, throwing Skeens was a mistake. Maybe, we'll see. I believe it was. But if LSU rallies and wins, it will become moot. Cliff Nelson, what's going on? Michael Tolliver, Kevin McKee, Wilk, what's going on? What was Tommy White swinging at? Look, man, it was an elevated fastball. Like, you're going up to the plate in that situation with, by the way, I'm with you. Like, for a guy that's been so patient and so good, especially with 2 strikes, you know, he does this, he does the stance when he's got 2 strikes where he gets really wide, and you know, he just stays controlled and puts the ball in play. For him to swing the ball over his head was out of character. Just got amped up, man. It's a lot on the line. It's a regional baseball game. Let's see. Terry Ducote, Dale Broussard, what's going on? Cajun Merck said, why didn't we restart the first game earlier? That's an NCAA decision, and a lot of it's based on TV as well. Remember, you had a lot of games in the East Coast that started at 11 a.m. So noon Eastern, 11 a.m. Central. So basically, the noon start time is what they were looking at here. Samuel Beatty, Floyd hasn't been bad, inconsistent calls on the exact same pitches. I think there was one pitch. It was a fastball into a left-handed hitter in the second inning that the guy ended up walking that Travinsky wanted, and Travinsky took the ball and kind of like slammed it in the dirt. That's the one pitch I would tell you I really didn't like the call. I think the guy behind home plate has been pretty consistent. I'm not saying he's been great, but I think he's at least been consistent. Day, a long weather delay, same pattern as yesterday, building to the northeast, drifting southwest. Mr. Egg, what's going on? Let's see. Why does every question escalate toward a coach being fired scenario? Well, I mean, look, the reason is because you have great expectations. And, you know, this is a place where we saw Ed Ogeron win a national championship, and a year and a half later, he was fired. And it's not just with this administration. I mean, go back to, you know, John Brady made the Final Four in 2006. A year and a half later, he was fired. So we've seen it before. I mean, we've seen those types of scenarios. And, you know, this is a supremely talented team that had great expectations. You were number 1 in the country for the bulk of the season. You've got the best pitcher in college baseball. You've got the best player in college baseball. You're a national seed. The postseason runs through the box. And, you know, if they lose this regional, having burned Paul Skeens against Tulane, like, it's going to be right to question him. Now, again, I'm going to reiterate this. Let's not think like that. It's 1-0 right now against Oregon State. Oregon State, you know, Lattery for Oregon State's going to be done now as well. His season-long outing is 4 1/3. So you're coming up to bat here, bottom 3. He's gone 2 innings. He's already thrown 57 pitches. You know, he's walked 4 already, so he's going to be done, and you're going to be into the Oregon State bullpen. You're going to break through against this team, and I still think LSU is going to come back and win this game. You're just going to need Thatcher Hurd likely to come out of the bullpen here and be really good and do what you've seen him do. Do what he did in the extra inning game, where they went 12 innings and you saw him pitch brilliantly into extras, where he gave you 5 innings of relief. So he's more than capable, and you know, it'll give you an opportunity to get your offense going. Let's see. Gulf South. I'm not worried about pitching. I'm 100% worried about the offense, which has been garbage lately. All right, Gulf South. Go back to the opening game of the SEC tournament. The opening game of the SEC tournament, LSU scored 10 runs against, I think, 10 runs on 12 hits against South Carolina. They were absolutely awesome that day. And then when you, again, then they played Arkansas and Texas A&M, and they did miss a lot of opportunities. But also, Tommy White didn't play against Texas A&M. You had Paxton Kling in the lineup. Like, the job was done, and at that point, and Kling was 1 for 4 with 2 strikeouts. And like at that point, Jared Jones got the start at first. At that point, Jay was treating it like an opportunity just to get guys rest. Just to get some other guys experience. Like, they were not trying to win the SEC tournament. You could say that's a cop-out. I don't know how you could argue to the contrary. Paul Skeens threw 70 pitches and was out of the game in 3 2/3. Like, you started backups, you started role players against Texas A&M. Like, you weren't trying to win that tournament. The game you were trying to win against South Carolina, you pummeled the baseball. And, you had a nice offensive day against Tulane as well. You had plenty of guys on base, but Jay reverted to small ball because he knew he had Skeens on the bump and he was just trying to score runs. Like, again, they're going to break through. They are going to break through offensively in this game. I just think they're going to have to score double digits because I don't think Oregon State's done scoring by a long shot. Ghastly game, or what happened to clear day all day. Hadn't seen that, man. We were talking about today on Morning Scone. There was forecast rain in the forecast. We just hoped that it was going to stay away from the box, but it didn't. Let's see. Cliff Nelson, if Floyd could throw his off-speed stuff or strikes, he'd be tough to deal with. When he does, he's incredible. And we've seen it at times this year. He was great against Arkansas after that first inning. We have seen Ty Floyd shove at times this year. We saw him really pitch well against Alabama. There have been times this year where Ty Floyd's been awesome. And when he locates his breaking stuff, he is really hard to touch. Brian, when they didn't capitalize on offensive opportunities the first 2 innings, always comes back to haunt you in the game of baseball. Yeah, but you know what, Brian? You could legit say the same thing about Oregon State. In the second inning, Ty Floyd goes homer, double, single, and so you're talking about run in, first and third, nobody out, and they didn't get another runner home. So, they're sitting there thinking the same thing. Like, they had an opportunity to really put up a crooked number in the second inning on Ty Floyd and couldn't get it done. Let's see. I really don't like the NCAA's. And forgive me, that was in the third where they went homer, double, single. So.
Hello, Flory. We're here.
Okay. Smash the like button if you would. 353 watching live. We appreciate y'all. And I do plan on jumping back on to do a post-game live as well. So we appreciate y'all for being here. Let's see. Are they back yet? It's 3:48. Should be getting close. Someone give me an update here. I'm checking Twitter. Anybody got a resumption time? I'm looking on Twitter. I don't see it yet. Baseball, let's see. So 34 minutes ago was when they entered the weather. 34 minutes ago they entered the weather delay. I'm trying to see updates. If we can find some. Yeah, the storm is definitely headed from the east toward the box. Yeah, the delay started at 3:12. Lighting within an 8-mile radius adds 30 minutes. No word on how long it'll be yet. So kind of waited out here, y'all. And again, so I'll tell you what, just for the sake of the person who asked a bit ago, here you go, if you'll indulge me. Let's have some fun, y'all.
When you need a roof, call someone you know. Oscar, Ontario.
All you need is Hudco.
Call Hudco Roofing. 367.
My partner, Richard Tilley, hates the Hutco jingle. Hates it. Loathes it. and I was asking him about another roofing company which had a jingle 20 years ago that everybody to this day still remembers. And I'm like, I tell him all the time, like, do you think that was some masterpiece of musical brilliance? No, it was an earworm, and you still remember it. That's the point of a jingle. It's just so you remember the freaking jingle. That's all it is. It's not supposed to be some brilliant piece of music history. It's not this amazing artistic form. It's an earworm to make you remember the company. Anyway, Hutco Roofing, Hutco's pin in the chat. We're in hurricane season, y'all. We'd love to help y'all out. Literally every part of the state. Original office founded in Bossier, but we got boots on the ground. Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Lafayette, Lake Charles, Alec, everywhere. If you're, no matter what corner of the state you're in, if you have a roof repair, replacement, you need an inspection, we'll help you out. Hudco Roofing, hudcoroofing.com. Hudco's pinned in the chat. Just click that link and fill out the form. Adam Clayton said it's not like Floyd was dealing. He was working out of trouble, though. And to get through 3 innings with 1 run, I'll take that. We need the bats to get going, certainly. Craig Duga, what's going on? Skip should have built a retractable roof on the box. Yeah, spent $1 billion on a college baseball stadium. Let's see. Don't think LSU has 10 runs in them today. Terry, that's so weird to say. They've had the bases loaded in each of the first 2 innings. Like, clearly they're getting guys on. They're going to get them in. This team is too good. They put too much pressure on you. They're going to score. Fred Clay Morgan III. I know you've talked about it till you want to vomit, but how big is that decision to pitch Skeens at Tulane now? Again, I'll say the same thing that I said earlier, which is, had Jay on Friday come out and said, we threw Paul today because we looked at rain in the forecast and we were worried about the possibility of what happened against South Carolina, and we wanted to make sure we got a full start from him. Okay. But he didn't say that. That's not the reason that he started Paul Skeens against Tulane, and that's a problem. Okay, somebody tell Shaq we need a roof on the box. Austin Kidder, what's going on? Irfan Sayad, Ghastly Gamer. I'm trying to get to questions or comments that y'all haven't asked yet. Let's see. Kevin McKee, that's nice if we're just struggling the tourney, but this has been going on for a month plus. That's not being unclutched. That's not true at all. It's interesting to me how that kind of becomes a narrative. Again, I mentioned in the SEC tournament, you scored 10 runs on 12 hits against South Carolina. In the Georgia series, you won 8-5 in 12. You scored 8 runs in game 2, and then you lost game 3, 9-5. We know how that one all transpired. Against Mississippi State, you beat them. You run ruled them in the first game, 12-1. In the second game, you lost 9-4. We know what happened there, and that was the day where you failed. But then in the third game, you scored 13 runs. You were up 9 runs, and your bullpen imploded, but you put 13 on the board. You run ruled Northwestern State in the midweek before. Then against Auburn, you won 3-0, lost 8-6, and then you they run ruled you in game 3. You run ruled Southeastern. You beat Bama 13-11. Against Bama, you scored 8, 12, and 13. Like, I don't know. Like, it's funny how sometimes y'all just convince yourselves of narratives that aren't true. But then anytime you see any piece of evidence that supports your fallacy, you use it as supporting evidence to convince yourself of the thing that's untrue. I mean, I just went through 6 weeks of games, or 5 weeks of games where there were 1, 2, 3. Dating back to April 28th, the Bama series, 3 games out of 3, 4, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. And then you could throw in the Arkansas, Texas A&M games if you want, about hitting in the clutch or whatever. But again, we went through why. I mean, you didn't have Tommy White in game 3. You started Paxton Kling. I mean, Jay was getting out of there. So it's a little, I put an asterisk next to that. But when you're really out there trying like 3 out of 15, I mean, it's baseball. You're going to have days where you leave guys on base or your pitcher doesn't go well. That's why you play a lot of games. It's a large sample size. But this whole thing about them being unclutch, like it's just it's a logical fallacy, because you can look at statistics, and it's the reason that statistics matter in baseball, because you play a larger sample size. You don't just hyper focus. Like if you just hyper focused on a 2-week stretch for Dylan Cruz, you think he's a terrible baseball player because he was 2 of 22. That's why you have this giant sample over 60 games. You go, oh, he's hitting 430. Like he's awesome, actually. But like, you look at the offensive numbers in the SEC for LSU, number 1 in batting average, number 1 in slugging, number 1 in on base, number 1 in runs scored, number 1 in hits, number 1 in RBI, number 1 in total bases. I mean, to say they're number 1 in hit by pitch, number 1 in sac flies, to say they're unclutch is just a fallacy. I got a 60-game sample that says you're wrong. It's just, anyway, whatever. Okay. Get to a few more here. Again, 348 watching. If you would smash the like button. If you're new, subscribe up to the channel. Every day here on the channel, we do a show called Morning Scone. So I know there's a lot of people finding us for the first time. We do a live stream every morning, usually on weekdays around like 7:30 a.m. But we do it literally every day of the week. I will pop back on here for post game whenever the game does finish. Kyle Gallo said, "Bring back the companion show." Kyle, I would love to bring back the companion show. I love doing the companion shows. I loved having Coogan and Demui and Joey Painich and Kendall Rogers jumped on, and DeLucci jumped on, and Musso and Hunt and Terry. I mean, I loved it. I love doing the companion shows. But I'll fill this in. I'll fill y'all in on this because some of you probably just don't know. But Guarantee, who I work for, is the LSU Sports Radio Network flagship. So when we just renewed our deal, boy, I'm really behind on comments. My apologies, y'all. Oh man, sorry, y'all. I'm gonna catch up on comments. My apologies. When Guarantee renewed our deal with LSU to be the flagship, part of the thing LSU wanted was for us to stop doing companion shows because they felt like it competed with their broadcast. And my contention was, well, I'm not doing it on ESPN's social media. I'm doing it on my personal social media. LSU can't tell me what to do on my personal social media. But their feeling was that me as a Guarantee employee, that it should extend to my personal social media. So that's why they disallowed me from doing companion shows, and I took one for the team. So bosses at Guarantee asked me not to, and I decided to wear it, be a team player. So that's why there are no more companion shows. But the game's in a rain delay, so here we are. When the game ends, I'll jump on board. That's why T-Bob and I do Whiskey and Wine. We do it when the game ends. So, okay. Let me just go to the bottom and just start working my way back up. Let's see. Leah Van thinks Riley Cooper comes back. That would be an interesting choice. And we know Jay loves Riley Cooper. And there is some reason to think, look, if you're going from a hard-throwing righty to a swooping lefty who you can use in multiple outings, that if Cooper can go get you through the middle of this game and maybe you could retake a lead, it changes the way you think about things. So I would doubt Leah is guessing. Let me look for Leah on Twitter. Let me see. Okay. So she just guessed. She's guessing Cooper. Could be Riley Cooper. Let's see. Avo said I'd go Christian Little. No. Let's see. Bo Jax said Hurd's warming up in the pen. Okay, that makes that like Hurd is the most obvious example. Hurd's the name that first popped into my head, and I think that's probably the answer. If someone is at Bo Jax, I don't know if you're at the box, but if you are and you physically see, like, I don't know if you're literally seeing him, but if you are, please share that if anyone is at the box. Andy Boy said, please don't end the live. I'll stay here, man. I'll stay. Let me do this, y'all. Hang on. Let me do this. How about this? How about if we all have a nice, you know what? My favorite pour. Weller 12. Ooh, you know what? Let's do this together, y'all. Let's do this together. How about we cash out the Weller 12? Let's do it together, y'all. Been a good soldier. You and me, we're doing this together, y'all. I love you so much. You've been a good friend. You've been a good soldier. You've been with me through so much. You've given of yourself selflessly over and over and again as I've twisted your top and poured you into Glencairns and enjoyed you. You've been there for fun moments with friends and family, casual moments on the back patio. You've been there for frustrated moments and just very casual moments by myself, just you and me. I'm so grateful for your sacrifice and all you've done. Until we meet again. Cheers. Love it. Oh my God. Weller 12. God, dog. It's just my favorite pour. Anyway. Okay, some of y'all are saying Hurt is warming up. I wish Matt would talk to me like that. As you licked him. I'm sorry, him. It's a her. Anyway, Peter Fennick's got E.H. Taylor small batch. Brian Ashcraft. Which orphan barrel, Brian? Terry, get a Brian, I'm curious, which orphan barrel you got? Cliff Nelson on medication can't drink. Sorry, dude. Cortland said, how is Herd warming up if they're clearing the box? So, Cortland, if you've ever seen the Marucci Performance Center down the right field line, they do have indoor mounds back there. So it's possible Herd could be throwing right there. Or if I'm not physically there, but he could be throwing indoors, or he could be throwing in the bullpen if it's not raining and he can come out. So. Brooke Bordeaux, wow, that was beautiful. This is so romantic. Kyle Gaio, we need some Drew before you end this live. I'm not gonna lie to y'all. This is hazy. Something's going on here. That's hazy. That almost looks like. That is not Weller 12. Somebody got into my bottle. I think someone played a prank on me. I think someone was at my house and played a prank on me. I think someone finished that bottle and dumped something else in there. I'm dead serious, y'all. That was not Weller 12. I've had my fair share of Weller 12. Now, that bottle has been open for a long time. So maybe it's the simple fact that we're there at the bottom and poof. Well, now we need another pour. Let's go. I'll tell you what. How about this? Shout out to my guy, Jordy Collada. Opened this bottle on the day the Colladas, Jordy and Kelly, got married, New Year's Eve. Eric and I went down for the wedding. And a buddy of mine, shout out Dave Schultz, scored this bottle for me. It's the Michter's Toasted Barrel. Michter's Sour Mash Toasted, excuse me. Michter's Sour Mash Toasted. So Erica was taking forever to get ready. So I opened this in the hotel and had about 4 pours before we went to the Collada's wedding. Now I'm going to say this as well about my guy, Jordy and Kelly. They did it right. So they got married at the Il Mercado in New Orleans. Outdoor wedding at night, 8 p.m. I got to tell the story, and we'll get back to the baseball stuff, but you may enjoy this more. So Jordy and Kelly get married at 8 p.m. on New Year's Eve, right? And so you're thinking New Year's Eve, well, bringing in the new year. The wedding was about 10 minutes long. So they have, which is fine. They do the wedding vows. I now pronounce you, and it's like 8:12. Oh, by the way, go back. As guests are walking into the courtyard at Il Mercado, they have a champagne tower. It's like a champagne flute. So the champagne is in flutes, but it's like it's a tower, wide base, shorter, small, and so you just walk in, you grab your champagne flute, right? So like as guests are walking in, they get champagne, not reception, wedding, walking in, get the champagne. Um, anyway, wedding was about 12. Like it was like wedding at 8 o'clock, 8:12, they're done. We look around and we're like, are we finna have a 4 hour reception? And we had a 4 hour reception, man, all the way up until ringing in the new year, man. It was a good night. It started with Michter's Sour Mash Toasted. Okay. Let's see. I'm going to go to the bottom and sort of work my way back up. Andy Boy said, "What is that egg, man? What egg? What are you looking at? If you see what egg, be more specific. I'm trying to see what back here is an egg that you think is an egg. Let me know what egg you're talking about. I'm down for Rally Whiskey. All right, Mike McNett. Strong side, what's going on? Terry Ducote, enjoy the runs, man. Somebody turbo laxed you. It was not turbo lax. That just tasted like hazy backwash. It was definitely not Weller 12. A little disappointed. Let's see, Bojack's, what was in the bottle? I don't know. I'm telling you, I don't know what was in the bottle. It tasted like backwash. It almost tasted like someone was putting together some type of infinity bottle on that last pour. I don't know what could have gotten in there to make that hazy. It's capped. I mean, it's not like it's just sitting there aerating, open at all times. It's been capped, but yeah, not great. Blame Terrio. You you cheated on Weller 12 with somebody else. What did you think about the Tennessee Clemson ejection? I thought it was incredibly stupid. For those that didn't see it, Tennessee Clemson, amazing baseball game last night in the 13th inning. Clemson gets a double play, and as the Clemson player, Canatella, I forget his name, and Zane Denton from Tennessee start jawing. Well, the umpire, the second base umpire, who happened to be the cruise chief, threw out the Clemson player in the 13th inning, which means that he was not available for the game today that Clemson lost. So their season's over. I cannot imagine words spoken that would warrant ejecting a player from a game in that situation. It were probably some F's and some B's said, and I just cannot imagine ejecting a player from a game of that magnitude in the 13th inning for that. I can't. If you're throwing a punch, I get it. You start a brawl, I get it. Something physical like that, okay. Not words. It's not okay. Let's see. TCU's at 14-1 on Arkansas. Wow. Let me see if I can get Drew in here. Drew, come see. Austin Kidder. I'm going to tell my daughter to marry a man who talks to her the way Matt talks to whiskey bottles. Oh, man. I'm scrolling back to see if I can get to your other questions that might have been there. Let's see. Ryan Dunn said it's about to be bad at the box. They're clearing the stadium, lightning 3 miles away. Rally Frogs. Where's Chuck Sanchez? I don't know where Chuck is. Need to get him in here. Let's see, 347. Appreciate y'all hanging on. All right, y'all fire away if you got questions or comments. If you get Oregon State again at some point, do you start Tommy Tanks at DH? No, Tommy White. So, Chris, I had this conversation with a scout earlier this year about Tommy White at third, and I said, "Look, is he just a first base DH at the next level?" And he said, "No, he's shown that he is more than capable at third base," which surprised me a little bit. But no, I don't. And here's the other thing I would tell you. Who was that? Chris. Here's the other thing I would tell you, Chris. If you DH Tommy White, who are you putting at third? That's your problem. Now, they played Braden Joubert at third in the SEC tournament, and he played well. I didn't know this, but he played third base in high school, so he played pretty well. Although he hasn't played there much, and that does allow you to keep his bat in the lineup, and then you could put very likely. What you would probably do in that situation then is you would put Morgan back in the outfield with Pearson and Beloso at first if you're DHing White. Now, this is 100% not going to happen, Chris. So I'm working the hypothetical with you because we can do that here, but this is 100% not going to happen if you DH Tommy White. But my point being, all of that to say, I think Tommy White is going to play third base at the next level. Like, I've gotten that from scouts who believe he is good enough to play third base at the next level. I don't think they've taken advantage of anything. He was playing back, and the guy bunt for a hit. Anyway, Cortland is coming down in Lafayette. Cortland, remember, Hudco, we have crews, boots on the ground in Lafayette. We'd love to help you out if y'all have roof issues. Let's see, Sonny's wife. It's a jingle, not smells like Teen Spirit, changing the music landscape. Brett DeGrosse said, my brother's on Torchy's staff. Is at Torchy's, a staff member, so they're sending food to the park for the players and coaches. Chance, I still know Seafood City's address from the jingle. They closed 20 years ago. Jingles work, man. Dylan Danton said, we just got quarter-sized hail in Central. Oh, my goodness. Yes, Dylan, please. Dylan, if you do me a favor, please, if you're still watching, please take a picture. Put the hail in your hand with a picture of a quarter or something similar size and take a picture. Please tweet it or send it to me, something like that. I'd be very, very, very much appreciated. Kyle Guy, Matt, you're in charge now. We need companion shows again. I wish I could, man. Garrison Berger, good morning. Let's see. Okay. Here we go. All right, I'm caught up now. Okay. Okay, here we are. I'm caught up. Let's see. At this rate, Matt's going to look like Cajun leaving Las Vegas when the game resumes. I don't know the reference. I think I remember leaving Las Vegas, but I don't know the reference. Mr. Egg, good morning. Stephen Walzak. I'm a little surprised to see TCU pounding Arkansas the way they are. I thought Arkansas would win that game for sure. Mitch Metter, I think people watch LSU like they watched football back in 2019. LSU baseball like they watched football in 2019. Listen, I don't need, Mitch, I don't want to start a fight with LSU fans. This is a day where we all need to band together and pull the Tigers through to win. But I've said this for a long time about LSU baseball fans. I think by and large, this is my hypothesis. You tell me if you disagree, okay? LSU baseball fans love LSU baseball. They watch LSU baseball because LSU baseball has won for a long time and a lot of us have an emotional connection. LSU baseball fans don't love baseball. Meaning, if Virginia Tech and Louisville are playing on a Thursday night in college football, you're watching that game because it's on. You're watching Ohio U against Western Michigan on Tuesday night in action because it's on. You're not watching a Thursday night ACC baseball game. That's the difference. So a lot of LSU fans do take a football mentality into baseball. And it's hard because baseball is a game, unlike football, where so much matters in every single game. Where in baseball, you're going to lose. Like the greatest baseball team ever, the 27 Yankees, lost 50 times. Like you're going to lose. You're going to lose football. You're going to lose baseball games. It's just everybody is going to lose. You're going to have days where it doesn't go your way and all this stuff. And you really just hope that over the course of a season, you put yourself in position to have the most advantageous scenarios to make your way through the postseason. So that's what LSU is. Like you put yourself in a position through 56, 55 regular season games to be a national seed, to make sure that the postseason, your trip to Omaha, runs through the box. That's what you've done. Now you just have to go execute. You have to play well and execute and hope that the couple of decisions a day that the coaches make strategically are good. Like Tommy White swinging at the ball over his head, that's not Jay Johnson's fault. That's all you can do is set your lineup and hope they go out there with a plan and execute the plan. So, but yeah, Mitch, I do think a lot of LSU fans do look at baseball with a football mentality, and that's why you see this melt every time they lose a game or every time they don't hit in the clutch or whatever the narrative is going to be. But I mean, I got a 60-game sample to show you all how great this LSU baseball team is. But you look at 2 innings where they leave the bases loaded and you go, they suck, they can't hit in the clutch. Yes, they can. They've done it all year. It's like Tommy White, who is the nation's RBI leader, swung at a ball at his eyes. Are you going to tell Tommy White he's not a good hitter? Like, no, he swung at a bad pitch. It happens, man. The guy's 20 years old. It's going to be okay. And T-Bob was in your office and sabotaged the Weller 12. TDC, man, when does Jay Johnson's seat get hot if they crap the bed in the regional? I'd rather not even think about that right now, honestly. I want to think about what they're going to do when they restart this game. I think it's going to be Thatcher Hurd. I want Thatcher Hurd to go shove for the next 5 or 6 innings. And I want the bats to go in and LSU win. I want to see LSU win this game 12-3. And put a ton of pressure on Oregon State to play Sam Houston later and then have to come back and beat LSU twice tomorrow. Give Javen Coleman the ball tomorrow and let's roll. Cobble said it's looking better at the box. Could see a 5 p.m. restart. Okay. You know what I should have done? I should have done this on, hang on one second, y'all. Can't do it. So when we would do companion shows back in the day, what I used to do was I would do the show on Zoom. So, and then I would send the Zoom stream to YouTube. And that way on Zoom, I could invite other people. Well, I just fired this up live on YouTube thinking, well, it would be a 10, 15-minute show, 20-minute show. And now here we are at almost an hour. And I could have done it to where, I should have done it to where we could have invited people on. So that's my bad. I'll do that for the post-game show in case if people want to jump on for post-game. Blaine Bobuff said, unfortunately, I can't drink bourbon anymore, just as I got my collection respectful. Well, if you got anything unopened, Blaine, that you're willing to part with, let me know. Beth Richard, hope Erica's feeling better. Thank you, Beth. Appreciate that. Yeah, Erica, for those who don't know, Erica's my wife. She got really sick last night. She was throwing up at like 3 in the morning. She got up at like 3 in the morning. It was bad. Trenton Thornton, Zane Denton got the last laugh, hitting the go-ahead RBI. Or go-ahead homer. Peter Fennick, did your whiskey have a... Brian Penton, what's going on? From Springfield, Illinois. Okay. Brandon Penton, what time is it coming back on? Again, I'm following like all of you all are. Let me update Twitter here and see the latest. Yeah, I mean, it is. Jock just tweeted a video a minute ago. It is raining at the box right now. Yeah, everything that came through my house an hour and a half ago clearly just got to the box. Tarp blowing up and wind and rain and all that sort of stuff. Yeah, it got bad. So Yeah, and I'm looking at all the media tweeting from like the media tents and everything. It's raining and not good right now. So I mean, at my house, and again, it rained here in the second inning, and then got there by the third. It's clear here now, so hopefully, you know, by 5 o'clock, hopefully they're ready to roll again. All right, smash that like button if you would. Subscribe up to the channel. Appreciate you. Shane Danos got fresh rice dressing and stuffed pork loin cooked in time for the rain delay in Iowa, Louisiana. Okay, shout out Iowa. Home of the Love's truck stop that has the Hardys attached to it. I always make that a stop when I'm going west. Blaine. Blaine, is your Weller 12 unopened? If your Weller 12 is unopened, I would love to do a deal or buy it from you. George Mason bounced Maryland. Well, the Big Ten was atrocious this year. Big Ten and the Big 12 were atrocious, which is why it's surprising TCU's doing what they're doing. Andy Boy, what's the weather like by you? Yeah, the rain has stopped. I mean, it's a little overcast, but it's nice here right now. Craig Duga, I know you, Mr. Weller 12, but non-chill filtered antique store picks will change your life. I got Weller antique store picks, man. It's just not my favorite. I got the 107s, man. I got store pick 107s. Fred, let's see. Really appreciate the effort you go to on your daily shows. Thank you. Making content like this, you don't have to do it. One of the best in the biz. We feel like we're part of your family. Thank you. No, thank you, Fred. Like, seriously, man, if y'all didn't watch, I wouldn't do it. So I appreciate all y'all for coming here every day. But very nice of you. Thank you. Shane, Matt, could you shout out my wife again? Like last week, Jamie Danos says she loves watching you in Iowa. Shout out Jamie Danos. Danos or Danos? I worked with a Danos, D-A-N-O-S, but I think I probably was saying Danos. Anyway, shout out to Jamie Danos. Amazing AFR and Morning Scone fan. Way better than Shane. And again, much love to all my peeps in Iowa because, you know, like I say, I am a big fan of the Hardys there in the Love's truck stop. Hardys, their mushroom Swiss burger, the seasoned fries, and the chocolate shake, in my opinion, is the S tier fast food meal. Most people bypass Hardee's, have never had Hardee's, but I'm telling you, go try the Hardee's mushroom Swiss burger. It'll change your life. So shout out to Jamie Danos in Iowa, Louisiana. This one's for you. Damon Gilmore just had hail in Lafayette. Hey, man, I'll say it again. I'll probably say it many other times. Hudco Roofing, look, the hail yesterday in St. Gabriel, there was hail in New Orleans, hail now in Central, hail in Lafayette. One more thing I'll say about, well, I'll probably say it again. I'll say this, which I've told you before. I've learned a lot by being a Hudco partner. Most of us have a wind hail deductible and a named storm deductible. A lot of people think, oh, I'll just wait till a hurricane or something like that, and if I have damage, I'll fix my roof. So often, your named storm deductible, so like a hurricane, named storm, is higher than your wind hail deductible. So if you're in Lafayette, if you're in Central, if you're in St. Gabriel, and you had hail yesterday, and like it would probably, it's worth looking at your policy, it would probably be less expensive. You would have a lower deductible to replace your roof, fix or replace your roof after this than to wait for a storm. So, like, wait for a hurricane. So, anyway, highly recommend. I've got it pinned in the chat. It's the Hudco link. Click on it on the homepage, contact form, super easy. 30 seconds to fill out. Someone will call you, and that's basically just permission to let someone come inspect your roof. Well, you don't even have to be home. It's just someone comes, they'll get on the roof, one of our inspectors, walk it, mark it, chalk it, take pictures, file a full inspection report to you, and make a recommendation to repair, to replace, to file an insurance claim, whatever the case may be. It's easy, and it's free to get that inspection. Like, literally, there is no catch. Piece of advice, if any roofer ever tries to charge you for an inspection, run the other way. Okay. Craig Duga, hands on a K-Luke cast strength. It's glorious. Okay. Let's see, get back into this here. Um, all right, Vincent 2 gram slams by the same guy, 2 innings in the Arkansas game. Jeremy Fontana asking for a time for the resumption. Not yet. Andy Boy, smash the like button. Thank you, Andy. Fletch at Cobble saying 5 could be a reasonable start time. Brian Wynn, can Erica account for her whereabouts in regard to the Weller 12? I guarantee this, she's not touching the Weller 12. Al Scarmuza tried to fight one of my friends at a tasty restaurant. Okay. Big boy Matt, where did you get the Tiger Stadium replica? Where are we looking at? Tiger Stadium replica. I don't know what you're looking at there. I mean, I have one over here. Oh, here. Oh, there. Yeah, sorry. Man, I've had that since. Boy, that's since before they redid the West Upper. That's literally with the old West Upper. Like with the side you're looking at here is where they had the escalator on the outside. That's before they redid the West to match the East Upper. I've had that for at least 20 years, probably longer than 20 years. John Derek Hartman, are you doing whiskey and wine tonight? I'll do a post-game show here, just like we're doing this, but not at Don Juan. So my plan was, when the game ended, I'd go outside, I'd light up a cigar, and we'd do the post-game show. But we had a rain delay, so I was like, well, let me just jump on here and hang out with y'all in the interim. My grandfather had a housekeeper hit the business bottle and replaced it with water. Oh, God. Joe and Becky, Matt, so are y'all associated with the Walt Disney Company, the radio station Granite Media? So, no. Our company is Guarantee Media. And Guarantee is locally owned and operated and has been for, I think, 97 years now. So we contract with ESPN as an ESPN affiliate. So, but we are not ESPN employees. Our company and ESPN have a contractual relationship to be an ESPN affiliate, an ESPN branded affiliate. Kemper is flying. What's going on, Stephen Walzak? Per Leah, an hour into the delay, it's pouring rain at the box. Yeah, y'all, I got Twitter open, and I'm kind of keeping up with everybody who's out there at the box, all the media that's there anyway. So if we get updates, we'll look at it and we'll let you know. A couple of other things from the game, obviously. How about some moments that were big? How about the strike him out, throw him out by Hayden Travinski? Like, that dude has, like, his year-to-year development is sensational. A year ago, with Travinski and McManus as your catchers when Milazzo was hurt, defensively, you were a liability. Those two guys a year ago were butchers behind the plate. It was terrible. And Travinski obviously struggled a lot with the swing and miss. McManus had some really big ABs, but as a catcher, he was not very good. Travinski this year, while he's still a little busy behind the plate, he's not great. Like with a catcher, you always, when you're receiving, you always want to stab the ball. You want to stick the ball. You want to be still. And he's very busy, so he probably loses some strike calls as a result of that. But blocking up, well, he had a beautiful ball he blocked up in the left-handed batter's box where he lost the mask and went over and blocked it up with a runner on first. And then the strike him out, throw him out was huge. I mean, you had first and third, nobody out. The strike him out, throw him out, and then you get out of the inning was massive because that could have been a big inning for Oregon State, and to hold it at 1 was significant. I mean, like, just as much as we're sitting here saying, man, LSU blew an opportunity in the first and the second with the bases loaded not to score, they're sitting there going, get a leadoff homer, double, single, so run in first and third, nobody out. You don't get anybody else home. That was very significant by Hayden Travinski, and like serious hat tip to him. Defensively, he's gotten much, much better. But man, my goodness, just for Travinsky, offensively, to have been a guy that, a year ago struck out in half of his at bats. Now you're talking about a guy that, in 71 at bats is batting 437. Just 13 strikeouts in 71 at bats. By comparison, Travinsky a year ago, bear with me here. Travinsky a year ago, like I said, 13 strikeouts and 71 at bats. So that's roughly one every 6 ABs, right? Travinsky a year ago struck out 24 times in 62 at bats. So he was striking out once every roughly 2.5 at bats. I mean, it was almost a coin flip. Like every time he was at the plate, he struck out almost every other at bat. I mean, and now like 13 strikeouts and 71 ABs. He's been sensational. Like he deserves all of the playing time he's getting, man. Let's see, Burt Boy checking in from Austin. Looking forward to Tiger win, Longhorn elimination. Do you think we'll see any Bear Jones this postseason? Probably in pinch hit situations. If you need the big swing from the right-handed bat, that's probably it. It's hard to imagine any other situation, just because with Bear Jones, while you got the long ball potential, he's what Travinsky was. You have long ball potential, you got big power. He's had 14 homers, but there's just so much swing and miss, man. There's just too many strikeouts for Bear Jones. It's hard to justify having him there when guys like Beloso and Travinsky and Joe Bear are getting on base at the clip they are. Jones, for example, is hitting 299, which is really good, but in 157 ABs, he's got 69 strikeouts. He's striking out every other at bat. Like you just, and if I go to like SEC only statistics, I don't know if I can get the individual stats for him in SEC play, but anyway, whatever. I'll look it up later. I don't want to bore y'all while I just sit here and look up stats. But anyway, point is, Jones has just struck out way too much. H-Town Tiger, I've said it for years, Scone. I'm a long-time baseball fan, long-time Astros, partial season ticket holder. I'm one of those Sabre nerds. Anthony Court, what depth does OSU have in their bullpen? What LSU bullpen pitcher best chance to give us 5 or more innings outside of Hurd? Yeah, so Anthony, I think it is going to be Hurd. Some people had mentioned Cooper, and maybe that's the answer because Jay does trust Riley Cooper. But I think if you're Jay right now, the way that he has talked about approaching it is who available gives me the best chance of getting the most outs right now, and that's Thatcher Hurd. So if you go Thatcher Hurd right now and he can get you home, right? I mean, you're through 3. Can Thatcher Hurd, and hopefully, he could give you 6 innings or give you 5 innings and you build a big lead, then that's great. Then you're on to tomorrow and you've got everybody else available and you probably start Javen Coleman, but I think that's the guy that you got to go with. As far as Oregon State, we did talk this morning and about Oregon State, and we kind of went through a lot of the statistics of what they have in their bullpen, and we did say that AJ Lattery was probably the guy that they were going to go with. He'd only thrown 44 innings on the season. His season-long outing was 4 1/3, but he's a guy that had spot starts here and there. 17 appearances, 8 starts, 6.5 variety. So that's the guy we said was probably going to start. He did. But again, his season-long outing is 4 1/3. So he was probably nearing the end of his outing anyway, even before the rains came. The thing about Oregon State's staff is the rest of the staff is a whole bunch of relievers. So Trent Sellers is their ace. He's the guy who threw 7 1/3 in game 1. Jacob Matz is their number 2. He's the guy that's injured and unavailable for this weekend. The other starter they have is Jaron Hunter, who's been injured and wasn't available. So after that, Lattery was the guy who was the most likely to get the start, which did everyone else really as a reliever. So, I mean, you don't have anybody else. Let's see, does anybody else? Ben Fair is the only other pitcher with more than 40 innings pitched on the season. He's got 41 innings pitched. Red Larson's thrown 32. He's got an ERA of 4.95. Aiden Jimenez has 32 innings pitched, ERA of 6.75. Ian Lawson has thrown 34 innings, ERA of 3.44. So that's a guy who could extend for him a little bit. But the point is, man, like, you don't have a ton. Like, you don't have a lot of really good options if you're Oregon State out of the bullpen. The flip side of it is, as much as we talked about LSU, they don't have a ton of great options. You've got Floyd. You've got Hurd. You've got Coleman. You've got Cooper, Ackenhausen, Herring, Guidry, guys who have pitched well for you at times this year. But how do you manufacture it through today's game? What you really need is you need to give the ball to Hurd and say, hey, get me home. If Hurd can get him home and they win, it sets them up for tomorrow to start Coleman and get home with whoever you need. All right, smash the like button, please. Trenton Thompson, I'm arguing with someone from your Twitter saying Tommy White should have laid down a bunt. Oh, my God. Trenton, I'll be very rational. Here's the problem with letting that situation unfold and coming back and saying Tommy White should have bunted. First of all, you got the guy who's leading the NCAA in RBI per games. What he does better than anybody in the country, literally, is produce with runners on base. You're not taking the bat out of his hand. What if he does bunt and you have a forced play at home? Then what have you done? That's stupid. The other thing that I think is very important to note with respect to that conversation is if you are going to say right now, man, Tommy White should have bunted, you're making that comment with the benefit of hindsight because you know the result that he struck out. My point is and has always been forever with baseball. Baseball is a game of failure. You fail 7. You've heard me say this. You've heard me say this ad nauseum. Many of you can probably repeat it because you've heard me say it so many times. Baseball is a game of failure. You fail 70% of the time, you're in the Hall of Fame. That's the old cliche, but it's true. When it comes to strategy, as long as you have sound reasoning behind the decision to do what you do, then I can live with the result. If you're Jay Johnson, and in that situation, you let Tommy White swing away because he's Tommy White. He's leads your team in RBI. He's got 91 RBI, which leads the country in RBI per games. He struck out only 27 times in 215 at-bats. He's one of your best at putting the ball in play, at being disciplined at the plate, at going the other way. I'm not taking the bat out of Tommy White's hands. Nobody would in that situation, especially when you have a force at home. So to say Tommy White should have bunted in that situation is to only say it with the benefit of hindsight, knowing he struck out. Because when that at-bat started, whoever tweeted that to you, Trenton, whoever tweeted that to you, when that at-bat was starting, was not, I guarantee you, was not screaming at his TV, man, they should bunt Tommy White right here, because it's stupid. So, no, that's a dumb comment. Not from you, from whoever tweeted that. Bo Jacks, Tennessee has a chance to make a serious run. Seriously. Look, and by the way, Tennessee's going to win that regional, and they're paired with the Auburn regional, and Auburn's already been eliminated. So Tennessee should walk to Omaha now. Danny Braywick, on a plus side, it does look better at the box. We may get this one started again in an hour. I think 5 p.m. could be a reasonable guess, just a guess. Let me see if I've got an update. I keep refreshing Twitter just to see if we do have an update. Oh, there you go. Nope, never mind. That's the Auburn regional. Let's see. Yeah, nothing. Nothing official, anyway. Nothing official. Keep waiting. Please smash the like button if you would. Subscribe up to the channel if you're new. Kevin McKee, as an LSU alum and fan, I love and will always love and be way too passionate about LSU baseball for this reason. LSU baseball is the first program that made it nationally and gave me hope we could win a natty. Kevin, I'm with you, man. Like, when Skip won that championship in 91, of course, basketball had been to a couple Final Fours in 81 and 86 under Dale. And LSU had started going to Omaha regularly. But football was in the midst of six consecutive losing seasons. And so, really, you had baseball and you had women's track and field, which won 10 straight national championships under Pat Henry. Those are the programs that really succeeded at a national level. So, yeah, I mean, it's why LSU baseball is so far ahead of the rest of the country, because Skip was the one who came, set the hook here emotionally, won big, and showed other programs, hey, you can win big and you can make money with college baseball. And so other programs started investing in college baseball for that reason. So for sure. Let's see. Any idea if it will stay on ESPN2? I don't know that, Barry. My guess is it would. Red Onion Entertainment, thanks for the updates. Being out here in Vegas makes it great. Thank you, man. Appreciate that. Got brisket on the smoker. Let's see, Christian, do we get inadvertently lucky not starting Skeens? Sure. I'm quite honestly just, Christian, this is not you. I'm just tired of the Skeens convo. Like, at this point, it's, if they win the game today, we'll never talk about it again. If they lose today, we'll talk about it forever. I hope they just win so we don't have to have this conversation. So, Ryan, Dixon, Matt, did you get any more Stag Jr.? I do not have any more Stag Jr., man. You know, I'm always down for a Weller 12 trade, though. So if I can score it, I will. Have you tried the Traeger Whistle Pig? I've heard mixed reviews. I have not. Barry Jocelyn, what's going on? Joseph Baggert, heard hitting the like button helps stop the rain. Adam Clark, if LSU has turned this game into a whole staff, I'm not sure they have enough to win this regional. Adam, they can win today because you can give the ball to Hurd and Hurd can get you home. But if you give the ball to Hurd and you lose, and then you have to come back and win tonight and then win 2 tomorrow, now you're in a world of trouble. I've literally, this has been my point about this team for this entire season. When everybody has melted about the bullpen, my point has always been the reason you can do it is because you have Paul Skeens. And Paul Skeens is a magic bullet that gives you an advantage in any regional, super regional, or Omaha because he puts you into the winner's bracket. But part of that thinking was always you'll throw whoever you want in a 1 versus 4 game, and then Skeens wins the marble game for you. Well, the problem is you threw Skeens in the first game, and now you don't have Skeens for the marble game, and now you're down 1-0 in the third, but a long way to go. So, but yes, if LSU loses this game, I don't see them coming out of the loser's bracket because they would have to win tonight and then 2 tomorrow, and I don't think this team has enough pitching to do it. They would have to just bludgeon the baseball and just outslug people, which they can do, but that's really hard to predict happening. Ethan Mott, what happened if the rain delays games for multiple days? A great question, Ethan. I don't know. I've never seen it happen to where it would. I mean, I guess you could push to Tuesday, but there's rain in the forecast literally every day this week. They'll find breaks and clearing in the weather to get this thing in. It's probably just going to be really uncomfortable. Scooter Rushing, what's going on? Happy for you to see me again. West Monroe in the house. Oh, man. Nick Frugier, as always, Matt, keeping us entertained in the rain delay. Best place to get content. Thank you, Nick. Appreciate that very much, man. Ryan Metter, what's going on? How about Clemson getting bounced? Yeah, man, look, when they went 13 last night and lost, had to turn around and play again today, it was over. I mean, and by the way, had tip Tony Vitello because when he went to Burns yesterday, after Dolander, he took a big risk. Because if they had lost that game and burned Burns, no pun intended, I don't know how they come back from that. They got plenty of arms, but still, big risk by Vitello, which paid off. So hat tip. Jeb, side note, hope you guys had a good vacation. We did, Jeb. Thank you. Swamp Donkey said, bro, this is lame. Then leave. Leave. Why are you here? I'll never understand it as long as I live. Like, I'm serious. As for someone who produces as much content as I do, I will never in my life understand why people choose to spend moments out of your life that you will never get back. Like that second that just went away, whatever time you're spending watching this, you will never get that time back in your life. Why would you spend time in your life watching something you don't like? Just to drop shitty comments on people? Bro, go away. Go spend time with your family. Spend time with your kids if you have them, or your wife, or your girlfriend, or whatever, your dog. Like, go watch someone's content that you enjoy. Like, why would you do that? I just will never understand that, man. It's not about, like, you're not hurting my feelings, brother. Like, I'm good. I'm doing what I enjoy. I'm hanging out. I'm talking about the game. I'm having some Michter sour mash, toasted barrel. I could just never understand why. Like, literally, I'll never understand this as long as I live. Like, why people would spend moments of their life you will never get back. Never, ever get, you will never get that moment back that just passed. Why would you spend your life voluntarily doing something you don't enjoy? I don't get it, man. Jude said, what happens if they can't play games at all? Coin flips? I don't know that they've ever had that situation, Jude. Not that I'm aware of. I mean, they'll extend extra days and they'll get them in. So, Braden going to mass at 5:30. Prayers up. All right, Braden. Prayers up for all involved. Pray for the guy that's here just because he hates everything. That he finds some peace and joy and happiness and love in his life. Sonny's wife. It's 4:30 on a Sunday. LSU's played 12 innings of regional baseball. Weird, right? Taylor Hudson, if the delay goes longer than 2 hours, does Floyd come back? Or is he? No, he's done. Floyd's done. The only way Floyd would have come back is if that had been like a 30-minute delay and they were able to keep him hot and he could have come back out. But at this point, the delay started at 3:12. It's 4:48. It's been an hour and a half. He's done. Floyd is done for sure for the day. He's, in theory, you could bring him back tomorrow. No, he threw 71 pitches. He's not coming back tomorrow. Yeah, no, he's done. He's done for the regional, for sure. Yeah, Tim Pierce asking about Floyd coming back. Not happening. There's just no way. Is there no later than 11 p.m. start for the next game if LSU loses? Correct, Sonny's wife. Big Doug 44, Matt, you're the best in the biz. Thank you, man. Curious, would you ever consider going big time with ESPN if given the opportunity? So, Doug, it would depend on the opportunity. 10 years ago, absolutely, not even a question. At this point in my life, I'm so established here. I've grown, we all collectively have grown AFR to something really impactful. I mean, syndicated in New Orleans, Alexandria. We're about to go into Lafayette and Lake Charles starting on June 26th. I make a great living, like such that if I were to leave here, I'd probably take a pay cut wherever I'd go to start at the bottom to build back up. And I love the fact that I get to talk about LSU and the Saints and the Pelicans and teams that I love as opposed to going somewhere and talking about teams I don't really care about. So, and then on top of that, my family's here, Erica's family's here, all of Drew's doctors and therapists and everything are here. So as you know, as it goes, the deeper your roots get in a place, the harder it is to uproot. So that's where I am. And listen, man, if I'm fortunate enough, seriously, to spend the rest of my career here doing AFR and continuing to grow it to see how big it can get and do something really impactful in this community that I love, I am super, super good with that. I mean, I have had opportunities. I have had opportunities to leave here and to go to bigger markets, but it's just not been anything that's been appealing enough to make me uproot my family and leave. So, Zachary Snyder, let's see. Not being a jerk. LSU leads in all these offensive categories. What are they for stranding runners? I understand when you hit that much, you're going to leave some. That's the point. When you have more base runners, you're going to leave more base runners on. And I don't know that there is a statistic that they keep for stranded runners. Got Arby's connected to a truck stop. Okay. Tim Pierce, Jordan Mumfree sitting in the parking lot. Rain has stopped. Still looks cloudy, slowly clearing. Okay. Adib Abrahim, what's going on? Brian Ashcraft. Okay, the Fables and Folly. So Brian Ashcraft mentioned a while back that he was drinking one of the Orphan Barrels. So Fables and Folly 14. How is it? I haven't had Fables and Folly. I tend to like the Orphan Barrels. I have Rhetoric 22 through 25. Actually, I might have 21 through 25. No, it's 22. It's 22 through 25. Yeah, I got Rhetoric 22, 3, 4, and 5. I do like a lot of the Orphan Barrel stuff. Very good. Roy Kent, if I had an unopened Weller and was negotiating a trade, I'd negotiate going to the Moscona house for a pool day. I think it'd be great to have a drink with Matt and talk sports. Well, Roy Kent, if you have an unopened Weller, I would be open to that conversation. So you let me know. Weller 12. Adib, if LSU loses this regional, where would you rank the Skeens decision by an LSU coach compared to other sports? Adib, I would say that if LSU loses this regional, it will become the baseball equivalent of January 9th, 2012. You get the best pitcher in the country, probably the best pitcher that's ever pitched in this program. You get the best player in the country, Dylan Cruz, who's probably the best player ever. You got a loaded roster. You had a home regional. And you chose to throw the best pitcher you've ever had against the worst team to ever make the NCAA tournament. Again, I'll continue to repeat this because I don't want there to be any confusion whatsoever. My hope is LSU wins this game today, wins a game tomorrow, advances, and we never talk about this again. But if they lose this regional, that will go down as the worst decision in the history of LSU baseball. It will have cost them an opportunity to win a national championship with Paul Skeens and Dylan Cruz. And I hope that's not the case. I hope rally here, win this game, win tomorrow, and move on and get to Omaha and go win it. Full time and E-Rock's hosting skills would be fire to see. E-Rock's hosting skills are something to behold, for sure. Dean Stewart, exactly. You don't bunt Tommy White, you let your hitters hit. Amen. Thibodeau, hey Matt, do these rain delays change your opinion on Skeens pitching? I'm kind of done having the Skeens convo. No, like again, if on Friday, again, that's the benefit of hindsight. If on Friday, Jay Johnson had come out and said, hey, the weather for the rest of the weekend looks awful. The last thing we want to do is start Paul and have to shut him down like what happened against South Carolina. We want to make sure we get a full start out of our ace. So we're pitching him on Friday. Cool. I would have been totally on board with that. He didn't say that, though. That's not the reason he started Paul Skeens on Friday, and that's the problem. And by the way, if Skeens were held for today and they saw that weather cell coming, he probably wouldn't have started this game. In the postseason, you got to have guys do things beyond their expectations. Example, TCU kid had 2 homers all year, today 2 grand slams. Let's see. Matt, umpire called a chest-high strike on Cruz. I think that had White overthinking. Maybe. The called strike on Cruz was bogus, and I think that's why Cruz swung at the one out of the zone. No manager in the big leagues is going to bunt the best hitter on the team when you can blow the game open in one swing. Bingo. I don't know, like, again, that's, for those just joining us, that was in reference to a guy who sent a tweet saying, why didn't they bunt Tommy White with the bases loaded? Because you don't bunt Tommy White with the bases loaded. It's easy to say that with the benefit of hindsight, but in the moment, nobody is thinking bunt Tommy White right there. Let's see, Tremaine 318, check your text and let me know. Okay, well, my texts are on my phone. We're streaming this on my phone, so a little tough to do right now. Smash the like button, by the way, if you would. We're up to 178 likes. I appreciate that. And please subscribe. If you're new, subscribe up to the channel. Just hit the subscribe button, hit the bell to notify when we go live. We go live every day for Morning Scone and then a lot of stuff like this too, so it's fun. Let's see. I don't know. You need something? You can't start it? Why not? All right, I'll do 10 more minutes. I wonder if they're about to restart anyway. Let's see. Let's see. Leave in 1 minute ago. NCAA rep said start time will be 30 minutes after they pull the tarp. Ugh. 30 minutes after they pull the tarp, and they haven't pulled the tarp yet, I'm assuming. That stinks. Let's see, Tim Pierce, what do you think about Bullet whiskey? Bullet's good. Bullet bourbon and Bullet Rye, both really good. I mean, for an affordable, available whiskey, $20, very, very good. H-Town, Tyga, can you name another program's fan base and media that cover and is engaged college baseball as LSU? There isn't one. Thinking State and Texas, they're not. I can tell you flatly, they're not. It's not. There's nothing even close. Definitely not Texas. Alex Toss saying, what's going on? Money wins us the regional championship. That'd be great if I'm here for it. Barry Jocelyn, roots, that's a good word, Matt. Family, LSU, good living, hard to beat. Weston Weaver, what up? I know Floyd's burned. Who does OSU have to throw? Is their bullpen deep? So went through that just a bit ago. They've got a lot of bullpen arms. None that you would say are really like exceptional. Bozevert has a 2.93 ERA. He's only thrown 15 innings. Ryan Brown is their closer. He's got 10 saves on the season, a 3.45 ERA. He's only thrown 28 innings. Some of the guys that maybe they could get some length out of, Ben Ferrer, Justin Thorstenson, who we've talked about a little bit already. Rhett Larson could probably extend for him a bit. Aiden Jimenez has 32 innings pitched. So they got some guys, but again, there's a reason their staff ERA is 5. Okay. Hey, look at that smoke wagon hitting Louisiana Shells the next week or two. That's good to know. Let's see. Garrison, Beringer, if LSU gets people on base, they'll be fine. I agree with you, Garrison. I mean, eventually the dam is going to break. You keep putting pressure on their defense and their pitching staff, like you're going to come through. That's why, look, it sucks to leave the bases loaded twice. I get that, and to not score, but you're going to keep pressuring them and you're going to break through. The bigger question for me is who comes out for LSU? Is it Thatcher Hurd? If it is, can he hold the line for 9, 12, 15 outs? I hope so. How about Clemson getting bounced? Yeah, man, they were done. Bro, they were done after last night. 13 innings and to lose dramatically the way they did. Who else thought Skeens caught that liner clean? So anyway, he did catch that liner clean. There was another one where he got hit with the ball. He caught the liner. You're talking about the bruise on his leg. If you haven't seen it, go to Twitter. Michael Cobble's got a video of Skeens with the bruise on the back of his leg. He did catch the liner clean. There was another one later that hit him flush. H-Town Tig, I think Scone could easily transition to the Houston market. Maybe I've had offers in Houston. Had. Yeah, Shane, who's on the mound? We go back out. Hurd, I think it's Hurd. Okay. I think we're about done here, y'all. Kevin, will LSU fans ever stop melting over trivial nonsense? Nope. Okay, I think we're done, y'all. I think we're done. Randall, how long do you think Hurd can go today? I mean, Hurd can finish. I mean, Hurd's long outing of the season. God, I hate these websites. They're so bad, man. The stat websites are so bad. we saw Hurd extend against Georgia in the 12-inning game. He went 6 against Butler, 5 against Samford, 5 against Georgia, 5 1/3 against South Carolina. So, man, the South Carolina game, he threw 100 pitches. So, I mean, in theory, he could get you home. He could give you 6 innings and finish this game if he's going well. Roger Dodger Nike. Yeah, I will do, y'all. If they finish this game, I'll do a post game show for sure. So right here, come back here. We'll do a post game show when they resume it. We'll come back to a post game show, and hopefully we're not setting the stage for another LSU game tonight. All right, Scooter. Thanks. Okay, let me go get Drew's backpack. Brooke said, didn't get any reading done, but this was fun. Thanks. You got it. Okay. South Louisiana Living. Do you like the Nuggets tonight -8? I like a nice bounce back for Miami. Miami had a lot of open looks in game 1. They just didn't hit. That I think odds are they fall tonight. I like the Heat plus the 8, and probably I wouldn't be surprised if the Heat win the game. So, Sonny's wife, Matt, you're the GOAT. Cliff Nelson's going after dark. All right, so y'all, here's the plan. Game goes final. I plan to, hopefully, depending what time that is, light up a stogie and hang out and do a post-game show. So let's hope that's the case, and hopefully we're talking about a Tiger win. Thanks so much for watching. Again, please smash the like button. If you're new, subscribe to the channel, and do me a solid. Let people know, or HUDCO, pinned in the chat, would love to give you a roofing repair, roof replacement, a free, no-obligation roofing inspection. Literally every part of this state, we have boots on the ground in literally every corner of this state. So it doesn't matter where you are. There's already been hail reported in St. Gabriel, in Central, in Lafayette, in New Orleans. So we'd love to help you out. If you got roof damage or think you might, HUDCO Roofing, HUDCOroofing.com. Just click the link pinned in the chat and fill out the form on the homepage. I mean, it'll take you 30 seconds. So, okay, we'll see y'all after the game. Peace.